negative. So you need to identify what two quadrants tangent's going to be negative. So where's tangent negative? Okay. So my answers are going to have to be in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4, which means I'm going to have one answer that's between 90 and 180, and I'm going to have one answer that's between 270 and 360, because that will be 2 and 4. All right, so you're going to inverse tangent both sides of this in order to get rid of the word tangent, because you're trying to isolate theta. So arc tangent both sides. Okay, so it gave me as my answer negative 41.732, which is actually in quadrant 4, but that doesn't do me any good because it's a negative answer. So what is the rule for tangent? What can I do for tangent? Add 180. So if I add 180 to this, I get 138.267. What quadrant is that in? Okay, so there's my first angle in quadrant 2. And then with tangent, the only thing you can do is add or subtract 180. So I'll add 180 again. And that gets me 318. What quadrant is that in? 4. That's it. Those are your two angles because you've got one of them in quadrant 2 and one in quadrant 4. Everybody good?
Yes.
Not so bad, right?
If you don't get that angle,
Is there another thing you can do for tangent? That's it. So it should work because that's it. All right, so now they're doing it in radians, but it is in your calculator. They're just saying it's between 0 and 2 pi. So now what do you need to do with your calculator? You've got to put it in radians. So make sure you switch it to radians. So hit mode, or hit settings. You'll have to go back to home, hit settings, switch it to radians. The process is exactly the same. It's just that when you are using your calculator and you're getting decimal approximations for radians, we're going between 0 and 2 pi, which means my decimal answers have to be between 0 and what? What is 2 pi? 6.28, right? 3.14 times 2. So they have to be between 0 and 6.28. So you're just going to have to look at them a little differently because it's not degrees anymore. It's radians, but these are decimal approximations, not our great fractions, which are much easier to do. All right, so cosine's negative. Cosine of theta is less than 0 in quadrants 2 and 3. So you're going to inverse cosine. Okay, so the first thing it gave me was this. 2.967. What quadrant is that in?
2.
How do you know that? Because it's less than 3.14, right? Pi is 3.14. So 2.97 would be in quadrant 2. So that's one of your two angles. All right, now, I need my other angle. What are your rules for cosine?
You can make it negative.
You can make it negative,
You can make it negative.
and then add 360
Or 2 pi.
2 pi. So in this case, if I make it negative, so I'm making negative the angle it gave me, and I'm actually going to add 2 pi. I put the pi in everything, because that's the rule. And I get 3.316, which would be in what quadrant? 3, because it's just slightly greater than 3.14. So that's your other angle. Did you switch your calculator? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did you get 2.967 for your first one?
And when I added 2 pi, it gave me 9.2.
Did you make a negative first?
Did you make it negative? You have to make it negative first. Okay, so try cotangent.
cost of only.
Just if the front page is without your calculator from the unit circle, second page is with your calculator.
I can actually do this.
Mathematics.
It's not me.
Yes.
What are we gonna be doing here?